Number 10. Canada. Canada displaced Russia to take the 10th spot in 2015 and has retained its position since then. Canada nominal GDP is currently $1.71 trillion and expected to touch $1.74 trillion in 2019 and $2.30 trillion by 2023. Its per capita GDP of $46,260 is ranked 20th globally, while its GDP of $1.84 trillion in terms of PP pulls it down to the 7th position. The country has contained its level of unemployment and it's likely to further shrink. While services are the major sector, manufacturing is the cornerstone of the economy, with 68% of its exports constituting of merchandise exports. Canada is laying a lot of emphasis on manufacturing, which is the crucial to its future economic growth. Canada registered a growth of 3% in 2017, 1.4% in 2016, and is expected to grow 2% during 2018 and 3% 2020. Number 9. Brazil. Brazil is the largest and most populous nation in Latin America, with a nominal GDP of $1.87 trillion. Brazil is the 9th largest economy in the world. The nation that had been riding on the commodity wave suffered multiple setbacks with the end of commodity supercycle, in addition to internal problems of corruption and political uncertainty, which depended the investment and business environment. During 2006 to 2010, the nation grew at an average 4.5, moderating to around 2.8 in 2011 to 13. By 2014, it was barely growing at 0.1% in 2016. Brazil contracted by 3.5% before rebounding by 1% in 2017. IMF projects the economy growth to revive 2.5% by 2019. Brazil is the part of the BRICS along with Russia, India, China and South Africa. The country has GDP of $3.37 trillion and has GDP per capita $8,097. Number 8. Italy. Italy, with a nominal GDP of $2.07 trillion. Italy is the world's 8th largest economy. Its economy is expected to expand $2.26 trillion by 2023. In terms of GDP, its economy is worth $2.40 trillion and it has per capita GDP $34,260. Italy, a prominent member of the Eurozone, has been facing deep political and economic woes. Its unemployment rate continues to be in double digits, while its public debt remains sticky at around 132% of GDP. On the positive side, experts and business investment are driving economy recovery. The economy clocked 0.9 and 1.5 in 2016 and 2017 respectively. It's projected to edge down 1.2% in 2018 and 1.0% in 2019. Number 6. United Kingdom. The United Kingdom, with the 2.83 trillion GDP, is the 6th largest economy in the world. When compared in terms of GDP purchasing power parity, UK slips to the 9th spot with a GDP of $3.0 trillion. It ranks 23 in the term of GDP per capita, which is the $42,558. Its nominal GDP is estimated to remain at $2.83 trillion during 2019, but its ranking is expected to slide to the 7th spot by 2023 with its GDP of $3.27 trillion. Starting up from 1992 until 2018, the economy of the UK witnessed an uptrend in each quarter. However, it witnessed a decline in output for 5 consecutive quarters starting April 2008. Economy shrunk by 6% this time between this time and eventually took 5 years to grow back to pre-recession levels. According to data from the Office of National Statistics, the economy of the UK is primarily driven by services sector, which contributes more than 75% of its GDP, with manufacturing the second prominent segment followed by agriculture. Number 4, Germany. Germany is not just Europe's largest economy but also the strongest on the global scale. It is the fourth largest economy in the terms of nominal GDP with the $4 trillion GDP. The size of GDP in terms of purchasing power parity of $4.44 trillion, which its GDP per capita is 46,560. Germany was the third largest economy in the nominal terms in 1980 with a GDP of 850.7 with a GDP of $850.47 billion. The nation has been dependent upon capital goods exports, which suffered a setback post 2080 financial crisis. The economy grew up 2.2% and 2.5% in 2016 and 2017 respectively. However, the IMF says the slipped 1.5% and 0.5% in 2008 and 2019 respectively. Number 3, Japan. Japan is the third largest economy in the world, with its GDP crossing 5 trillion mark in 2019. The financial crisis of 2008 rocked the Japanese economy and it's been a challenging time for economy since then. The global crisis triggered a recession followed by a weak domestic demand and huge public debt. When the economy was beginning to recover, it suffered a massive earthquake that hit the earth socially and economically. While the economy was broken, the deflationary spiral economic growth remains muted. Its economy will get some stimulus with 2020 Olympics, keeping the investment flow and strong, which is backed by lax monetary policy. The Bank of Japan. Japan slips to the fourth spot of GDP is measured in terms of GDP $5.75 trillion in 2019, while its GDP per capita $40,850. Number 2, China. China has experienced exponential growth over the past few decades, breaking the barriers of the century planned closed economy to revolve into manufacturing and exporting hub of the world. China is often referred to as the world factory given its huge manufacturing and export base. However, over the years, the role of services has gradually increased and that of manufacturing as a contributor to GDP has declined relatively. Back in 1980, China was the seventh largest economy with GDP of $305.35 billion, while the size of USA was $2.86 trillion. Since its initiated market reforms in 1978, the Asian giant has seen the economic growth averaging 10% annually. In recent years, the pace of growth has slowed, although it remains high in comparison to peer nations. The IMF projects a growth 5.8 in 2020, which would sober down to around 5.6% of the Chinese and US economy has been shrinking rapidly. In 2018, Chinese GDP nominal terms stood at $30.37 trillion, lower than USA by $7.21 trillion. In 2020, the gap is expected to reduce $7.5 trillion and by 2023, the difference would be $5.47 trillion. In terms of GDP, China is the largest economy with the GDP $25.27 trillion. By 2023, China GDP would be $36.99 trillion. China's huge population brings down its GDP per capita $10,100. So the number 1, the king of economy, United States. The USA has retained its position of being the world's largest economy since 1871, the size of US economy was at $20.58 trillion in 2018 in nominal terms and is expected to reach $22.32 trillion in 2020. The US is often dubbed as an economy superpower, and that because the economy constitutes almost a quarter of global economy, backed by advanced infrastructure, technology, and abundance of natural resources. So guys, please subscribe my channel. Goodbye, stay blessed, be happy, peace.